So joining us now is Pennsylvania Congressman Dan Meuser. Good morning, Congressman. So just get your thoughts right out of the gate here. You got a razor-thin margin, and it was strangely bipartisan. 21 Democrats crossed over, 21 Republicans went the other way. It's kind of a weird mix there that got this thing through.
Yeah, good morning, Mark. Good morning, Carla. Yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, a week ago, we passed this with some Democrat support. This time we had 193 that voted to basically shut down the government, is what occurred. It's 5 appropriations bills. Of course, they're holding up DHS. When they're holding up DHS, I mean, clearly they're doing this because they're opposition to ICE. They want to defund the Immigration Customs Enforcement. But as well, at the same time, they're defunding FEMA. They're not paying TSA. They're not paying the Border Patrol. So once again, Democrats are really about obstruction, destruction, creating chaos, just like they're doing in the streets of Minneapolis. They're doing their best to do that here in the Capitol.
How do you see the DHS funding battle playing out? Because again, we know that deadline is next Friday.
Yeah, Charlotte, because they want to defund ICE and stop all of this enforcement of illegal immigration, and including criminals, because they let 15 million plus illegals in, and they don't want to lose them for their vote. We have a situation here where we're all for the idea of body cams. It was in our bill. It was in the original bill. We put $20 million.
Right.
We're all for the training, but they're pushing for, the main thing they're asking for is that the ICE agents don't wear masks. Now, the only reason they're wearing masks is to protect themselves from the mob that the Democrats and the leadership in Minneapolis in particular have put into a frenzy. We know who they are. Their officers know who they are. They know who each other are. So why is it so important that they remove those masks so the general public can see them, which would put their lives and their family lives in jeopardy? So if they're going to do that in our DHS bill, we're going to say, then fine, you're going to get jail time if you do the so-called doxing on ICE agents, if you follow them to their homes and harass them. We're also going to say you require cooperation, which means minimizing sanctuary cities. So as if somebody's in jail, if a criminal illegal is in jail, we can get them there rather than have to roam through the neighborhood looking for them. So, it's a lot of reasonable provisions. And as well, we're going to put what we're now calling the Save America Act into this bill, and the Save America, or at least that I certainly want to. And that says that you cannot register, if you're here illegally, you cannot register to vote. Once again, of course, you have Chuck Schumer saying these are Jim Crow laws and things of that nature requiring ID. Meanwhile, 90% of America requires it. And once again, the only reason they're against it is because they want these people to be voters as soon as possible.
Yeah, to that point, Congressman, on the SAVE Act, I mean, that's simply asking for a photo ID to vote. And, here's Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, on that.
What the president was referring to is the SAVE Act, which is a huge common sense piece of legislation that Republicans have supported, that President Trump is committed to signing into law during his term. It provides very common sense measures for voting in our country, such as voter ID. I don't think any rational person who's being honest with themselves would disagree with the idea of requiring citizens of this country to present an ID before casting a ballot in a federal election or frankly in any election.
Yeah, Congressman, Democrats forced this issue. They were the ones who refused to fund DHS. And do you think something like the SAVE Act is the only way to basically prevent them and make them pay for putting us in this position in the first place?
Well, they're going to vote against it. They're railing against it. They're lying about what the bill means, that somehow it's going to suppress voting. I mean, of course, as we all know, as 85% of America knows, even CNN showed a poll that it's an 85% favorable from our country, that, yes, having have a photo ID in order to vote, just like to get on an airplane, just like to take out a book at the library. I mean, those Jim Crow laws, I mean, it's a complete, utter exaggeration. It's phony. They're pretending that they're trying to do something good, and meanwhile, they're only doing it to protect what they think is a base of voters, which I highly doubt anyway.
Before you go,
I would lean in on a
yeah,
I'm sorry,
I just
on
want
a
to
party that thinks boys should be playing in girls' sports and things like that.
No, exactly. Before we go, though, I just want to get your reaction to the Clintons now willing to testify. What do you make of this? Just about 30 seconds. I know you've been very hot on this issue.
Well, look, they've been subpoenaed. We voted to require them to testify. They could deny and avoid such a congressional resolution. And if they do, there are penalties.
Right.
Just as Republicans that refuse to testify face penalties, jail, they can choose to do that if they're afraid to testify. Clearly, they are.
Yeah, careful what you wish for. Sometimes you might get it, and you may not like it in the end. All right, Congressman Dan Meuser, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.